subtle signs that you're developing alcoholism. So before anyone notices, the signs that just start to appear slowly and kind of encroach on your life are first only obvious to you and then no one else. And it's not about how much you drink, and it's really about what's happening underneath. And you can look completely fine on the outside and still be sliding into the depths of addiction. And these early signs often get missed, and that's what I really want to speak about, because they don't look dramatic. They look like normal life. Little things like a little bit of anxiety, that I used to think, I can't have a problem. I still go to work every day. I don't drink on the weekends. I can stop drinking for a month. I clearly don't have a problem. And the first sign isn't in the bottle, it's in your emotions, my emotions. You start needing the drink to take the edge off or to have fun. And I used to say, I deserve this, but more like it's like I can't relax or be safe or be happy without it. And the cortisol stays elevated. Alcohol provides some quick relief. The brain learns this. The reward centers learn this, and the wiring starts to change before you even realize it. Those new neural pathways are being set. And there's a change to the reward centers loop, and the alcohol starts moving from pleasure to relief. And you're no longer drinking just to feel good, you're drinking to stop feeling bad. And this is where the brain changing is really happening. The dopamine spikes, and then it drops below the baseline, and you need more just to feel normal. So you don't get a normal high from a sunset anymore. You need drink, and then life starts revolving around drinking before you even realize it. Your whole mental landscape has changed. I used to get joy from all the little things, and then everything came to revolve like there was an excuse to have a drink and everything after every day, brunch in the morning, and then there's this illusion, you still believe that you're in control. I can stop anytime, I'm a determined person, I'm strong, and then they create rules around it. Only on weekends, only wine, before 5 p.m. You're losing natural regulation when you're creating these rules. Your prefrontal cortex, the self-control part of your brain, is slowly being overridden by the habit system. So that's why logic stops working. The prefrontal cortex isn't working anymore. That's when it's really becoming a problem. Alcohol is controlling you, you're not controlling it. Then you start hiding it, justifying it. So you start hiding it all the things. Certain people, you top up quietly, you tell yourself, everyone drinks as much, I used to surround myself with big drinkers. And then shame starts to appear, and you push it down, But the amygdala, the fear and emotion centers, becomes overactive. So you drink again to calm down that anxiety. It can even be amygdala hijacked. And it's this closed loop: stress, drink, relief, shame, more stress. And it compounds, and you've lost control here. They can still look fine on the outside. I had a life that still looks shiny. You're functioning, successful, maybe even thriving. But emotionally, inside, like I was running an entrepreneurs group, but my soul was dead. Real connection fades. Alcohol becomes a reward for surviving the day, not living it, not actually being in the moment, and we make up all these excuses. I was burnt, I was tired out, not realizing that alcohol has become the glue that's holding everything together. It just creeps up on you. And then there's, none of this means you're broken. I want to be really clear. It means that your brain is developing a stress system, you can understand why it happens, but you can't take back control without having compassion for the understanding, because this isn't about willpower. It's about awareness and self-compassion. And awareness opens the door to freedom. Once you realize and own and accept that you actually have a problem, then you can get on the heaper, on the healing journey. Like you can really, it's a huge turning point when you can, like I remember myself personally, when I finally opened up to it to some dear friends, and they said to me, like, you've been so courageous in your vulnerability and telling us, and that admitting that I wasn't coping was such a powerful turning point. And when I look at my life before and how it got really small, revolving around alcohol, and now joy comes from all the things, from all the big things. And this is why for people it is a spectrum. It's not you are an alcoholic, you aren't. It's a substance use disorder spectrum, and you can be somewhere on it, but anywhere on it you can be in acceptance and take control and choose a better way and choose a life that is far better. And like myself, for me it got really bad, so that meant that I had to question everything, dismantle who I was, look at how I live life. But even for people who it doesn't get so bad for, you still get to look at, how do I want to live life? How do I want to show up? And how do I want to nurture mind, body, and spirit? And ultimately, you end up with a better life, and it's the biggest gift. So please do like, subscribe, join. This channel gives a lot of support to people on the journey here, and a lot of support to anyone who's supporting anybody on the journey here. So join us here, and lots of longer videos on more detail around the neurology of addiction, recovery, and some really, really rock solid ways to recover.